Well, if you were wondering if Vienna is rainy in May, I can assure you that it absolutely is. Wondering which end to start with. Okay, it's kind of intimidating.
My feet, they're just soaking wet already.
It's the Opera House of Vienna, and you can tell that this is a city that takes its opera very seriously. Day 4 in Vienna, and the rain just keeps coming.
As part of our grand tour of Central Europe, we wanted to spend a week in Vienna. And we knew that that week would happen in spring, shoulder season.
I think that we were just hoping for a bit more of the spring flowers versus the spring showers. But rain or shine, we're here and we're going to try to make the most of the very short amount of time that we have in this incredible city.
We're also going to try to make the most of our budget. Vienna's known for two things. First, being a spectacular, grand city with so much to see and do.
And second, being really, really expensive. I mean, for the Airbnbs alone, the prices are just breathtaking.
So we've got quite the week lined up. We'll do a tour of the historic center, of course, hit a museum or two, probably try some local delicacies, and of course, we'll give you a tour of the Airbnb that we managed to get for a surprisingly low price.
But first, in case you're new around here, let's do some really quick intros. I'm Stephanie and this is Gillian.
And these two little guys are Jasper and Huxley. The four of us are traveling the world full time and sharing with all of you as we go.
So there's been a bit of a break in the rain, so we've decided while we have a window, we should just get outside and do a walking tour of Vienna's historic center. And what we're using for this tour is one of Rick Steve's free walking tours that are available on his app. These are gold, so if you can find one for whatever city that you're in, and he only has very limited selection. In fact, there are 3 different walking tours for Vienna. So we're going to do one of those this morning. We're going to be taking a look at some of the most significant buildings in the historic core. And I'm just really hoping that the weather holds up. We do have the dogs in their little raincoats for this, and we've got umbrellas, so we're ready no matter what happens. This is our first stop right here. It's the Opera House of Vienna, and you can tell that this is a city that takes its opera very seriously. And it is also an indication, I think, of the grandeur to come. So know that we're going to be seeing a lot of really significant and also extravagant looking buildings.
Well, unfortunately the rain has caught up with us, but we're not going to let it hold us back, and we're making our way down to St. Stephen's Cathedral.
Well, we really know how to put the glamour into travel. So we've got our free Rick Steves tour happening here. We've got our umbrellas against the rain, and we've got a couple shivering little poodles wearing their rain gear. So I think this day is sort of illustrating the challenge of being a fast traveler. So normally we're in a place for a whole month, so we would just wait out the rainy days, even if it's a whole week, and then we would go out for a tour when the sun is shining and everything is perfect. Well, we're just in Vienna for a week, so rain or shine, we have to make the most of it.
Well, we've reached the cathedral, which is the heart of historic Vienna and really seems to be a hub of activity still today. Of course, there are a lot of tourists around, but you also see locals walking by and different demonstrations with this spectacular backdrop. What an amazing stop on our tour.
And our tour continues. We're walking along this wonderful pedestrianized area, and you can see how on a sunny day this would be a really amazing spot to grab a coffee and watch the world go by. And we're just parked along with all the other tourists under this plague monument, which I believe commemorates the passing of the bubonic plague. And it really is quite magnificent. It's got a real centerpiece feel here on this pedestrianized area. Judging by the density of the crowds, along with the incredibly magnificent building facade that we're looking at here, I think we've reached what I would call the dramatic conclusion to our tour through the historic center, which is of course the Hofburg Palace. And this was the home of the Habsburgs, how fortunate they were. And today it is now a series of museums that are sort of set within its sprawling grounds. And I cannot wait to walk through those gorgeous gates. How magnificent. I mean, that was essentially just the gatehouse. Now we're in the grounds, and it's really something. What a huge, significant, magnificent structure this is. So I really love visiting museums and galleries wherever we go in the world. And here in Vienna, we're just spoiled for choice. There are actually too many to choose from, and there's really not enough time and not enough money to go see everything. So after looking at all of the different options, I decided to come down here to the museum quarter and go to the Leopold Museum, which is right behind me. And I chose this one because I wanted to get a little slice of Vienna in the 1900s. So that was just wonderful. It was like a lovely bath for the soul. So I originally went to the museum thinking I would see some great pieces by Klimt and by Schiele, but actually I was introduced to so many more artists from the same period. And of course, it wasn't just paintings on the wall. There was actually furniture, design, print work, arts and crafts. Now, I thought I was gonna say that one of the things I enjoyed about it is that it's such a compact museum, so you could really cover it off within a reasonable amount of time. But then I discovered that there are actually 2 more floors with a completely different collection. So if you do come here, make sure that you budget enough time.
Well, the forecast may be rainy all week, but fortunately there are a ton of indoor attractions available. So today I've come to the Imperial Apartments, which is actually known as the Sisi Museum after the Empress Sisi, who lived here with her husband, the Emperor Franz Josef. I've just been through the apartments. Photos aren't allowed, so I'm not able to show you, but I definitely recommend this museum, which is a fascinating character study of the Empress. And it was all the more interesting because I did just finish watching the drama series about her on Netflix, so it's good to get a few more facts behind her story.
Okay, next stop, we're gonna take a look at our Airbnb. And like we said right up front, the prices for Airbnbs in the center of the city were just kind of shocking. So we knew we had to look at neighborhoods outside the historic center. And fortunately, we came across an apartment that looked very nice. It had no reviews, it was newly listed, and it offered an amazing deal. So this is our neighborhood, and it's made up of a lot of very solid looking apartment blocks. And we're in one of them. So this is our building, very typical for the area. Now in the Airbnb listing, the direction was when you get to the very front door, push hard. Okay, all right, there we go. It just takes a little muscle. And here we are. All right, let's go take a look. Here we are, and right away you can see how nice this living room is. I mean, it really hits all the points for us. We've got minimal decor, we've got these huge windows over here, there's so much light coming in, we've got these nice little accents of color, green and gold, so it's quite a pleasant space. The bedroom over here is really quite similar. We've got these same nice big windows, lots of light. Now, you know, because it's me, I'm gonna say something about there being only 2 pillows on the bed, but otherwise I think this room is really nice, same neutral palette, and it's definitely a place where we're gonna be very comfortable as we settle in for a week. Now, since it is a week, we are going to be doing a little bit of cooking, and what we found is that the kitchen is actually quite nice. Like, it's got all the basic functionality that we'll need for a week of cooking. And the other thing that we noticed is that everything is new and everything is really organized, so you know that Gillian is very happy with that. Now, there is one funny thing about the bathroom. It's over here, and what we have is a very luxurious amount of sink space. We've got a nice big shower, but what you'll notice is that there is something missing, and that's a toilet. So if the toilet is needed, you have to come this way. Okay, let's keep going, keep going. We're not quite there yet, almost there. So right here, as close as you can possibly get to the front hall, we have a toilet. So as we've said, this place came at a rate that's kind of a steal for Vienna. It's costing us just 88 US a night, and it's especially amazing because that amount doesn't just include the apartment. Perfect, thank you. You're welcome. So it also comes with this amazing breakfast. So this morning I'm having a Mediterranean breakfast. It has eggs. It has a little phyllo pastry, feta cheese, honey and butter, hummus, and I also have a coffee. The style is apparently called melange, but it seems very much like a cappuccino to me. So this is an amazing breakfast. We are getting it every single morning for free with our stay, and I think this deal worked out because the owner of our Airbnb also happens to own a couple of restaurants. Now, if you're looking for this on Airbnb, unfortunately, this deal is already long gone, but it's a great reminder that if you do want to see some good value from your Airbnbs, it's really important to look maybe 6-8 months in advance. That's what we did, and here's where we ended up, and we are so happy with it. So since we're in Vienna, one of the iconic experiences we wanted to have was to try a Viennese sausage. So this is something that you find all over the place, and I think it's one of the most popular street foods. They come in many varieties, but the one that we wanted to try today is actually a vegan sausage. We're gonna try to go a little bit healthier this time round. So we're going to a place that's supposed to have excellent vegan sausages, and we're gonna see what that's all about. Okay, we found it. This is the place. Hello. Great, thank you. Wow, look at this. It's a fully loaded hot dog. We got the coleslaw version, so we've got the vegan hot dog sausage in the center of it, a nice soft bun with a little crust on it. And then here's the coleslaw part. It's got mayo, it's got some pickled cabbage, I think, some actual pickles, and then some fried onions, and it looks really good. Okay, I'm gonna give it a go. Wow, that's a really good first bite. So the sausage part, it's got a real smoky flavor and some good chew. So I don't know if I would guess that it's vegan right away, especially with all of the toppings on it. I really love the tangy flavor of all the coleslaw and the pickles and the mayonnaise in there. An excellent snack. I think maybe time for some dessert.
Oh, look, dog's welcome.
Oh, that's nice.
Guten Tag. One Sachertorte?
Yes?
Yeah. Another culinary experience that we definitely didn't want to miss while we were here in Vienna is the Sachertorte. So this cake was actually invented here almost 200 years ago, and it's a chocolate cake with a beautiful layer of apricot jam and served with a side of whipped cream. Let's see how this holds up to all the fame. Gonna give it a little dip in the whipped cream. Wow, well, that is very rich and sweet. The cake is maybe a little on the dry side, but definitely with the whipped cream to make it nice and moist, it's absolutely delicious.
So if you're looking to do a little self-catering in your Airbnb or hotel, I can think of no better place to come to than this market right here. So I think it's called the Naschmarkt. Totally mispronouncing that. But it is a wonderful place to get so many delicious things. We've been coming through here basically every day, and there are amazing displays of olives and cheeses and breads and sweets and really everything you could want to make a meal with, I think, a nice glass of wine. I've seen a lot of different types of olives in my life, but never before have I seen bright red olives. And I think the best thing about this market is that every few steps that you go, someone is offering a sample of something absolutely delicious.
I will say that it was a lot rainier than I expected, but actually Vienna's a pretty good city to experience in the rain.
Yeah, so when you're finished seeing the grand boulevards, and definitely take your umbrella, actually there's so much inside in Vienna to experience. There are all the museums, there are all the galleries.
The charming restaurants, boutique stores. I mean, it's a big city with a lot going on.
Yeah, in fact, we were quite impressed with the neighborhoods that are outside the historic center, areas like Neubau, for example. So those are places that actually seem very livable to us. Like we could come back and not just spend a week, but spend a month or two, except that it is a little bit, like a little on the pricey side.
Yeah, but you know, the costs are somewhat at your discretion. I mean, we did a free tour. We limited ourselves to just a couple of the pricey museums.
And we did go out for meals, but we actually did do, I think, quite a bit of cooking at home while we were here.
Of course, this isn't the only iconic city that we visited in the shoulder season. We were also just in Prague.
And by the way, the weather in Prague this time of year, it was basically amazing in comparison to Vienna.
The only problem with our time there was it was also way too short.
Yeah, actually there was a second problem with our time. The crowds there were kind of unbelievable, and it wasn't even peak tourist season. But you can see for yourself by checking out the next video right over here. So I can see that the tour guides are doing a very healthy business here in the town square. Just in the few minutes that we've been standing here, I've seen at least a dozen guided groups here, which is quite something for the middle of the week in early May.